Hi guys, this is Market Matters. I'm Nadia Hassan, Sulhi Azman. We're the two braving this wasteland that is Bursa, Malaysia for you for the very simple reason that it's after a long weekend, so nobody is around. But, life goes on, markets go on. The only thing certain in life is death and taxes, and maybe the stock market unless the whole world implodes.
But before that, President Obama said that there's another three certain things in life. Michelle Obama is not going to run for the president, and you can go on the YouTube watching that clip.
I will wait. I will see whether she can. I mean, maybe she doesn't want that life because she let her husband go through it. But looking about lives and things, talking about news is very thin on the ground today, unsurprisingly. I think a lot of people are still on holiday. I think a lot of shops are still also half closed. So the only piece of news that we really saw today, besides Sunway getting appointed best property developer, was Compugates Holdings Bhd, up 10% to 5.5 cents. It's been trading in this band between 4 and 10, but the momentum, it has been on the negative momentum list because there was lack of new catalysts. And this company has been trading sideways a little bit since last year.
Yeah, correct. The company, interesting enough, they distribute electronic products from brands such as Canon, Brother, Panasonic, ATI, and also Samsung. And it recently, Nadia, diversified to selling green energy products and also has a timber concession. Yeah,
okay. So what happened in the news was that they actually received an offer letter from Lower Sipic Holdings Limited. They are doing logging in Papua New Guinea, covering apparently an area the size of Singapore, which the environmentalist in me goes, really? Basically, Compugates Perak, they will evaluate and assess the viability of this project because hence that is why I saw no price tag. If you're going to embark on something that's the size of Singapore, because even even freaking Bakun is like the biggest size of Singapore, why is there no price tag? And it just said that they're still evaluating. They can't tell you at this moment.
Yeah, they should come up with a rough figure indication.
Yes, exactly. Don't you think so?
Billions, Nadia. Billions of ringgits.
Well, if you want to be indicative, it says that the offer will be for 6 months, so they do have 6 months to tell you. In the meantime, the share price has already gone up. It won't invite any other person, entity, and usual love for normal course contracts. So yeah, it's like 0.5% of Papua New Guinea's land size of 46.3 million. But again, it's a big piece. And Papua New Guinea, you do have Sime Darby already there, so there is people who have gone to that. You would call it almost frontier country. I wouldn't. I think it's still quite established. But it's also trying to keep its electronic sector. And I think that's tough. How can you juggle two balls when one ball's a square?
Correct, and you have another entirely different balls to kick and to hold, for instance.
Yeah, exactly. Square.
Yeah. But if you look at the earnings, right, the earnings are actually, they are still in the doldrums basically. Net loss of 1.5 million ringgit, while revenue went slightly up by 4.9%, Nadia.
Yeah, but the thing is, revenue, like we say, the reason was because they had higher increase in revenue contribution from Cambodia and Indonesia, but the Malaysian subsidiary still had a loss during that period. They do think that, put it this way, they put this in their notes. They do say that it will be, it's going to be challenging for them, the trading and distribution business. They do think they will actually maintain their major distribution. I don't know. I think the share price has bounced around enough. Let's see whether or not we can push. But yeah, so when you think about Compugates, just keep this in mind. The reason why it actually went up today was because they had an offer letter from Lower Sepik. This is to do logging in Papua New Guinea in an area roughly the size of Singapore. However, these guys have not exactly had the greatest track record. I think their Malaysian business has been having issues. So let's see what happens, although the share price has gone to a little bit of bounce. Moving on, of course, to our what the brokers are saying, although the brokers are also still on holiday. But you can't ignore this. DiGi.com Bhd, the stock closed down about 2.98% to 488. The stock has been climbing slightly more than 20% since March 2015. What happened was, of course, they actually announced their 4Q earnings.
Yes, correct. And last Friday, DiGi announced their 4Q and eventually the full year results. Fourth quarter revenue was down by 5.6% and net profit was down by 32%. For the whole year, revenue was down by 1.5% and net profit slumped by 15%. And this was lower due to compressed margins on higher acquisition cost as well as higher traffic cost. Yeah.
So seasonally higher device costs. I wonder if it's to do with the fact that the ringgit's not doing as well. Like you said, traffic costs, because international direct dialing, or IDD, elevated due to the weaker ringgit. And so the two that we are looking at today, we're looking at MIDF Research and AM Research. MIDF Research did not seem that impressed. They downgraded DiGi to neutral from buy, lowered the target price to 534 from 670. However, is well holding on for hope. They do hold, but they tempered it. They said the lower target price is 550.
Yes, correct. If you look at the MIDF research, they say that there's no re-rating catalyst in the immediate term. But Nadia, they still think that DiGi is still attractive with dividend yield of more than 4% as compared to the listed peers. And in line with the weaker than expected FY earnings, MIDF is revising downward the FY16 earnings by 16% down.
Okay, so AM Research also reduces their net profit assumption 2016 to 2017 by 6 to 8%. They do feel, and this is interesting, they do feel that the average revenue per user will not actually improve because you have this high competition from Maxis and Celcom. Maxis and Celcom are aggressively trying to improve 4G coverage and service quality. We have talked about Maxis before. We have talked about how their plans in streaming and how they're trying to push up. Okay, DiGi has always been known for being very dominant with the foreign migrant market. So these are the things that we don't know whether or not they're still holding on. It looks like competition is going to be tough, but regardless, the what is it? The analysts are saying the same thing. It's a defensive pick.
Yes, it is a defensive pick indeed, and I think DiGi also needs to ramp up their prepaid business because their prepaid subscribers is only 1.8 million ringgit, while their postpaid subscribers is 1.8 million people, but prepaid subscriber was 10.3 million people.
Yeah, so. But that's what you want. You want the prepaid guys, You want the prepaid guys. You want those, who well, not prepaid, sorry, postpaid guys. You want the postpaid guys. Those are the ones that you actually kind of want to build, and you want to push all the ARPU up. I think it's going to just continue to be tough for the telcos simply because, let's not forget, there's the whole thing about spectrum costs. We've been talking it to death, and it's one of those things that we have to think about.
Yeah, and I think, but then again, analysts are saying DiGi would be the clear winner because they have a lower gearing but strong cash balance as compared to Maxis and also Axiata, which controls Celcom.
Tough times for CEO Alban Murthy. We'll have to see how he actually tackled this going forward. But just to think about it when we actually drive home, we are looking at DiGi. They are, of course, a telco. They just released their recent results. It does not seem to be very, very good. MIDF research downgraded everything, the whole and the target price. AM Research, although kept keeping the faith, they did actually drop the target price as well. But anyway, that's all for us for today. I'm Nadia Hassan. He's Suhi Azman. If you actually want everything more to read, there's always, of course, theedgemarkets.com. The weekly has been out for a couple of days, but it's never bad to actually have a second look through. Good night, guys. Hopefully, we'll have a very, very quiet week, but hopefully nothing big crops up.